Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this wonderful planet. And I'm with the wonderful Sally again. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Yep. Sally, Holistically Fit Specialist. And how's the weather up there in Canberra today, Harry?
Beautiful, it's sunny, cold mornings, but lovely sunny days. Between 11 and 3, awesome.
Yeah, great. Have you been out for a walk lately? Seeing we were talking about walking.
Yesterday I did, and today I will,
Yeah,
but not yet.
yeah, we've
For
been
me.
very lucky that it hasn't rained too much over this winter. It has been cold, but it doesn't stop you from walking. It's great. Fresh air.
Well, I would actually like rain here because it's incredibly dry.
Oh, yes, of course.
But on the topic of rain, rain gives us water. For
Exactly.
many of us, the water we get out of the tap is not good enough. So we get bottled water, which is really expensive. It's damaging for the planet.
Sure is.
And so we're going to talk about water filters today.
Yep.
So water filters are really close to my heart.
Mm.
15 years ago, we were using a water filter in a jug. Well, in Australia, we call them a brighter water jug, and there's a
Right.
replacement filter,
Yep.
which usually you forgot to change, so that got a bit manky down there.
Oh,
And when you notice it going black,
yeah, exactly. That's the thing, not changing water filters. Absolutely, Harry. And then they brought them in with a little dial so that you could put in what month it actually expired or whatever, how long you had with the filters in there. But you're right, manky old ones. So that was 15 years ago. Is that when they were brought in?
well, that's when we discovered them.
Yep.
Before that, we lived in Melbourne, and at that time, Melbourne water was sweet. It was absolutely beautiful. A bit like Christchurch water. Christchurch water is unchlorinated because it's drawn through limestone rock, which filters it.
Wow.
So if you live in Christchurch, the water is just stunning. And to buy bottled water in Christchurch, you actually have to have rocks in your head.
Wow.
That water is so
The water
beautiful.
in Fiji was fantastic. That was beautiful. But I'm still scarred from years ago going to Adelaide, and their water was so disgusting. It was
Yes.
awful, awful.
Because it's at the end of the Murray, and it's got all that agricultural runoff and it's dust, and it's the end of the line. So why is water important? Why would you want to get a filter? Well, some of the reasons that I know is that because the water tastes horrible,
Exactly.
because it smells horrible,
Smells, yeah.
because it doesn't feel nice under the shower.
Like in some places, I know when you travel, the water's really hard. I think it's hard in Adelaide too, and your hair just never gets soft. And yeah, in England, I think when I was living over there, we'd have to put stuff like in the kettle to. That's
because it's too hard, yeah. Because you don't want to get sick is another reason.
Yep.
And the fifth one is because you want to move towards wellness. That's the highest order one.
Yep.
And that's where I'm at.
Well, absolutely, because on that point, it's what's in the normal water now, and it's more than just dirty old pipes, because it used to be, old houses with dirty pipes or whatever. You get sediment or whatever it was coming in off the pipes. But now there's so many more things that are tainted in the water. So pesticides, runoff, chemicals. There's what is there? Chlorine, fluoride. I won't even get you started on those. And somewhere I was reading, and we were discussing this before, lead and mercury. So you think that's more from not so much in the
The lead would be in the very old houses where they had lead pipes.
Yep.
Much more common in the US. Copper pipes are common in Australia, and you can have too much copper.
Yep.
Galvanized pipes were pretty good.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with them. Plastic pipes are increasingly common, and plastic migrates into water if it's warm. So I don't have a lot of knowledge about that. But I personally use a filter to improve wellness. So when we graduated from the brighter filter, we went to an alkalizer. There's a number of alkalizers on the market. Most of the good ones come from either Japan or Korea.
Right, yep.
And we've been using an alkalizer for 15 years, but my wife doesn't feel the water suits her.
Right. Okay.
So we recently changed, and we just kept the alkalizer for the coffee machine, because
Right.
alkaline water makes better tasting coffee. But the alkalizer we were using was one called Akai, and I'll show you a picture of it here. Akai.
Oh, as in the
So
group.
it's a complex benchtop unit, and it has a two-stage filter, activated carbon, and then a filter to take out the solids, and then it's run through two plates, and the plates are charged, and they pull off the negative and positively charged ions. The alkaline water you collect, and the rest is thrown away.
Yep.
And then the last stage is run through a UV filter to disinfect it.
Wow.
So quite complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I.
So those units are between $2,000 and $4,000. So they're not. But
So
we've had it 15 years. 15 years, still working.
and then what's the thing that you've just had recently installed on your actual from the water mains?
So what we've had installed is a device which is really cool. So this is a device here. So that's our water main coming into the house.
So it's not that big. Would it be like 30 centimetres?
Not that big. Yeah, it's about 30 centimetres long.
Yeah.
If you think about what happens to water when it runs down a wild stream bed,
Yep.
it tumbles over the rocks, it goes in and out, it's aerated, it gets sunlight on it and so on. And it ends up with a particular charge. It ends up with a beautiful taste, and it ends up with a flow of viscosity that is, so it's smoother, it's more flexible, it's less aggregated at a molecular level than the stuff that we get through pipes. And there's a very clever guy down the road from us in Canberra who's worked out with he's designed a device that can move water from what you get in the tap towards wild water. And it's called structured water. And this is based on the work of a guy called Pollock, who talks about the fourth phase of water. So you can, any of you looking at this interview,
Yep.
can look that up on YouTube.
Structured water by Pollock.
Yeah, Pollock talks about the fourth phase of water.
Oh, right.
So there are the three phases are liquid, solid, and gas.
Yep.
They're the three conventional phases. The fourth phase is a phase in between those where the water is transitioning and it's very smooth. It's got this flow. So in terms of taste, it tastes smoother. It moves into your cells better, moves out of your cells better. So in terms of ease of flow, that's an important part of wellness. So we've installed this, and the water tastes really nice.
Yeah, awesome.
The advice is that you don't need a filter on the end of it, which is interesting.
Yeah, because we've spoken about how important it is to hydrate and to drink water. It really is. It's 2.6 litres minimum for men on average a day and 2.1 for women. So the quality of water is really important, particularly for our kids. So, you know, there's so many people drinking bottled water, and that's, you know, ruining our carbon footprint, you know, the environment. It's such a, you know, look at the oceans with all the plastic that's out there and all the plastic bottles. It's just frightening. So, you know, really encouraging everyone to have water filters at home, or I've got one on in the fridge. So I just pulled it out before. I'll show you, Harry.
Great, yeah.
And before that, I had the plumbers put them in so that as the water came into the fridge, I think it was the traditional way, and now the fridges are being made with them. So this one's a Samsung carbon filter freshwater thingy, and it actually, I think it has an alarm or tells me when the water filter needs to be changed, because when I moved house, I'd forgotten all about changing the water filter. It was frightening, the colour of the filter that came out of the fridge. I thought, oh my God, it's really frightening. So that would be the only thing. At least do you have to change that filter that comes into the water from the water mains into your house?
No, it's not a filter. It's actually a series of magnets.
Right.
And it restructures the water.
Oh, that's fantastic, because that's the only downside of filtering is about replacing the filter.
Yeah, and I mean, a good big high capacity filter normally needs to be changed once a year.
Yep.
On the alkalizers, they did 6,000 litres for a filter change. So
Yep.
if you're just using drinking water, that's quite a long time. The other sort of filter you can get is a reverse osmosis filter.
Yep.
So what this does, send water through a membrane, and that actually takes everything out of the water. For those of you that live in very big industrialized cities like New York, London, some places in Asia, you don't get virgin water, unfortunately.
Mm.
You're getting water that's recycled.
Ooh. Yeah, that's frightening.
And the one thing they cannot get out of recycled water, I'm talking about London, which I know about, is women's hormones from the contraceptive pill.
Yeah, and Maggie's been saying that about in Canada too. It's very, very big.
The only way you can take that out is with reverse osmosis.
Is that right?
But the problem with reverse osmosis, it's not particularly expensive, but it takes everything out. So it takes minerals out. So you actually have to remineralize it.
Yeah, right.
What is that would normally be in water. We in the clinic where I work, we have a reverse osmosis system. And this is a large system,
Right.
$1,000 that sits under the sink. It's got 4 filters here,
Yep.
4 filters there, and then this is the tank of the water that's then available through the tap.
Yeah.
So this can sometimes run out, and you just have to wait. So that's an under sink system. You can get above sink systems. In Australia, they range from about $500 upwards.
Yep.
Reverse osmosis. So if you're in a place where there's really contaminated water, and there are places in Australia, particularly in Aboriginal communities, although the UN classifies Australia to have 100% potable water supply, actually in quite a few Aboriginal communities and remote communities, the water is contaminated with either radioactivity or feces or bacteria. So not everybody, only 93% of Australians are connected to mains water.
Wow.
So the rest are tank water or bore water.
Yeah, right. That contamination is scary.
And
yeah.
I guess that's the issue around fracking, isn't it? That it can contaminate groundwater.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in my gym we've got one that attaches onto the tap, so it's a side filter, comes in that way, and then also got a Berkey, and
what's a Berkey?
That's what Maggie's looking at. It's like big silvery thing, so it's a water filter thing. Did you see them at the Mind Body Spirit Festival? The ones with all the rocks in the bottom, and they have different stages.
Yeah, they're awesome, but they're very slow.
Right, that was the only thing, and the refill and all that sort of stuff. But
so that's awesome if you've got the time to refill it and overnight, and you've got enough for the day.
Yeah. Now, lots and lots of offices have all those plastic bottles brought in in the water stations throughout work. You'd have to question the plastic that it's in and how long the water's been sitting in there and that sort of thing, wouldn't you?
It's probably a food grade plastic, and who knows? I remember from the baby bottle saga that the manufacturers changed the bottles.
Yep.
The number on the bottom of the bottle changed, but we never really knew what the bottles were made of.
Yeah, right.
The plastic numbering system is pretty crude, but yes, I mean, in Australia, I think that it's you're drawing a long bow to claim that bottled water is safer or healthier than tap water. It really is not evidence-based.
Yeah, I know. I think that there will be a growing trend towards questioning the use of the bottles.
Yeah.
And the quality of the water that comes out of them. What was it? I just had a few little stats here about, the things that you can get out of water, diseases and all that sort of stuff. And what is it? 1.1 million people get ill each year just from tainted drinking water. So, that's
in Australia, or?
I'm not sure. You'd have to think that it would probably just be here, because in Asia, for example, every second person that goes over there gets ill from the water. You can't.
That's because you're not used to it. That's because you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But well, somewhere, I don't know which country this is in, 1.5 million people died from waterborne diseases. Like, you'd have to, I would have think there'd be more than that. And, you know, look at all the diseases that you can get from
Yes, yeah.
dysentery and all those sort of things. And
I've got a few stats. 70% of the world is covered by water.
oh, how much? 77?
70%.
Wow.
Only 2.5% of that is fresh.
Wow.
Only 1% of the fresh water is accessible. Only 1% of the water that is fresh is accessible. The
Really?
rest is locked up in ice and stuff.
Right.
1 in 9 or 844 million people do not have access to clean water.
1 in 9 people?
Yeah.
You're kidding me. Wow.
31% of schools don't have access to clean water. So these are UNICEF UN stats.
Right. Oh my God.
So for me, the importance of water is that filtered water is cleaner, it's tastier, and it's easier to stay hydrated. And particularly with the structured water, I know that that's going to access the cells better.
Yeah.
The taste and the smell and the feel on your mouth, you know, definitely better.
There's nothing better, is there, when you have good...
Nothing better.
I just love water, and I love good tasting water. And years ago in France, they had bottled water, Evian. It just tasted like chlorine. I nearly vomited. No, nothing better than... That's why Fiji water was so awesome. And, you know, filtered water is awesome, you know, it's better than bottled water because it's more environmentally friendly and ends up being cheaper, you know, than buying... And
you save a heap. I mean, people spend... Water's more expensive than almost anything.
Yeah.
So my 3 tips today are: define your goal for a water filter. What do you want to get out of it? Do you want to get health? Do you want to improve the taste? Do you want to move towards wellness? Once you've done that, check your water. Check the water you've got. Get it measured. See how... Check the pH. You can do that with, you know, filter, a strip for your...
little strips,
You can check your chlorine as well. And then when you've gone through that, choose a filter. So your choices are, you know, a benchtop or bottle unit, which is about $20 to $40.
Yep.
What are your other choices? So it's jug or tap mounted, $25 to $75. You can get a countertop unit. So this is a unit which sits on the counter, $60 to about $400. From hardware shops, you can buy under sink units, which come with the plumbing included. So they're $200 to $300. And then you can get an alkalizer, $2,000 to $4,000, a reverse osmosis from about $500 up. And then the structured water device that I have, they're about $950 to $1,000 to buy, and then about another $400 or $500 to put in.
That's not bad, and that does all your water supply. Like, that's just from the mains. It's great.
Does it for the garden too. And, you know, the testing on vegetables is the vegetables grow about 30% bigger.
That, to me, seems like the best option because
I think so.
You shower water, you're washing your hair in it. As you said, on the veggies, that's awesome. Just everything, washing your hands.
So I'll put a link to where you can get these activated devices.
Yeah, I love that one. That structured one sounds
below
really...
the post.
What was the name of the structured one?
It's put out by, what is it? It's called an MEA. Yeah, it doesn't have a sexy title, I have to say.
Okay, that's all right.
It comes from an inventor.
Yeah.
But I'll put a link to their website.
Yeah, fantastic.
On the internet. And the other sort of filter you can get is, which we have, is I actually have a shower. We have shower filters.
Right, yep.
And we have these to take the chlorine out because you absorb the chlorine through your skin very readily.
Yep.
And I get these from a place called Clarence Water Filters. And I get no money from that.
But you wouldn't actually need to do that anymore, though, would you? If all of your water coming through the pipes is fine.
I still get chlorine in it.
Oh, okay.
Structured water is not a filter. It restructures the water. So it makes the chlorine less absorbable in a way that I don't fully understand. But so we still have the chlorine filters on the showers.
Right.
Yeah. And they last years and years and years. And I pulled one apart and it's got all these metal filings in it. So there's a chemical reaction as the water passes through. Chlorine gets pulled out by brass shavings or something.
Right. Wow.
But I notice it when I go somewhere else because I can smell the chlorine in the shower.
Yeah, yeah. That's, yeah, interesting point. Oh, Harry, I love this topic. So I was just saying, yeah, to have beautiful drinking water, you know, have it filtered, have it fresh, and have it free from contaminants. So that's, I just love the taste of water. And, you know, we both drink a lot and everybody should be drinking more. As we know, 80% of Aussies are chronically dehydrated. So, you know, we need to be drinking more and better quality, particularly for our kids. You know, you don't want them piling up with all the crap that's in water these days. And it scares me to think of the hormones. Luckily, we don't have that problem here, but hormones in water. Do you want kids drinking hormones? No. Like, do you want to be drinking them? No. Do you want to be having women's hormone replacement therapy stuff down your throat? No, thanks. HRT. Dreadful.
And one of the reasons why your skin is so good, Sally, is because you drink lots of water.
Oh yeah, I have to not drink it too late at bed because otherwise I'm up during the night. But other than that, the second I get up, I can't function right unless I'm drinking.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah.
Alrighty, I reckon that's enough for today. Yeah. It's a really, really important topic though, filtered water these days with the quality of the water that's available to us. I mean, we are blessed that we're in countries that, worst case, you can drink it out, but now that we have the opportunity to get relatively low cost filters and get much better quality for it and keep all that crap out of our water, why wouldn't we be doing it? As I said, my friend got it.
Think about it as an investment in your health.
Yeah, totally. And for your family and their future.
And also, we've talked about in a previous chat about the value of hydration and water. So look that up, either on YouTube or on my blogs.
Yep.
And you can find that. We'll put the links in the blogs because there's kind of an overlap.
Yeah. Your blogs are awesome, Harry, and I encourage everyone to go and read them because there's a lot of great information in there that's simple to read. That's good. Yeah. All right, Harry. Well, thanks for joining us today. And I look forward to our topic next week.
Which is, I think...
Junk food.
Junk food.
Why is it so delicious for some people? And why is it so addictive? So we'll be...
And before we go, yes, of course, we've got the book of the day. And it is The Hidden Messages in Water by a Japanese guy called Masaru Emoto. If you're interested in water and why structured water is really important, this guy has taken lots of pictures of different water derived from different parts of the world and what the crystals are that occur. And it's really interesting that if you have really clean water, you get crystals that look beautiful.
Wow, that's an awesome book, Harry.
And then if you do things to the water, you get crystals that get deformed, or they don't occur at all, like this, where you get really odd shapes. So it's a really interesting book.
Great.
Okay. Good.
All right, Harry. Well, I look forward to chatting with you again next week on this very important topic. And we'll catch you then.
Okay. Bye, Sally.
Have a good day. Bye.